Hello, everyone. So, we are back on another episode on Tales of a Lady once again. And today we have an interesting guest here with us who I will allow to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Esther Soka, the balanced woman, aka.
All right. So, today we have with us a writer, an author. So, she's the writer of this book, Lost, Broken Hearts Heal, which is the first out of three books in the series Broken Hearts Heal. First printed in June 2025. You can reach out with us to us rather in the comment section about it. So quickly, we'll get right into our discussion for today. Yeah, you're welcome once again.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, it's a pleasure. So today we'll be talking about wholeness
Mhm.
healing. So you can tell us about that.
Okay, in the series of brokenness, let's pick it up from the part where we're looking at being broken.
Mhm.
Most of the time, we want to believe that a person can only be broken because of a failed relationship. And so each time you say broken heart, everybody says, "Oh, I don't have a broken relationship.
Yeah,
I'm okay."
I'm healed.
Aha. But by and large, when we talk about brokenness, even when you refer back to the Bible, it doesn't specify to say brokenness from a failed relationship or a failed marriage. No, it just says broken hearts. And it's just general. So it's amazing at how we've managed to just bracket brokenness to just failed love relationships. So, in this book that I have authored, I have looked at brokenness broadly because there are a lot of things in life that we face that actually get us to a place of brokenness. Let's talk about losing a loved one. That is the hardest brokenness that it's hard to actually talk about healing and recovering from losing a loved one. Let's talk about a failed career where you are in university, you went in there to study law, but you ended up being a teacher. Let's look at having to fail an exam. You have to retake it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
You can only be strong so far.
Mhm.
And that in itself brings about brokenness. Let's talk about work affairs. You're at work. You've been in the same position for what? 4 or 5 years, no promotion. You've just been in the same place. Let's talk about the heartache that comes with doing the same thing every day, over and over. It's heartbreaking. It has a way of weighing you down. And so when all those issues weigh us down, when all those issues just make us feel heavy, make us feel burdened, what happens? How do you actually get to move on? And so I always say it's only a heartbreak if you feel you have lost a valuable possession. Unless
Okay.
something is valuable, that's when we say, ish, that hurt.
That hurt.
Yes. So if the value is not attached to whatever it is that has been lost,
Okay.
the heartbreak is even difficult to trace. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's briefly about the heartbreaks.
All right. That's an interesting thought or introduction rather to the topic.
Mhm.
So, firstly, what led to wanting to write a book
Wow.
on this topic specifically?
Okay, so in writing the book, it did not really start out as I want to write a book.
Okay.
Mostly like going through the heartbreaks of my life, from losing my dad, having to struggle in academics, just not being in the position I want to be in at work, just a lot of stuff going on. So at the end of the day, I would write in my diary. So, okay, this is what happened. Okay, and this is how I got through. Okay, so this I'm struggling with. How do I get through it? So you find I've written a challenge on a Monday. and maybe the way out I get it maybe 2-3 weeks from the
Later.
yes. And so it is from there that sometime in 2020 I started working with gender-based violence survivors. Yeah, so from working with them, I realized that I was always falling back on my notes in my diary. Like, oh, okay, that's what you're talking about. I remember I went through, and this is how I
This is how I
dealt with
conquered
it.
and
And so it was from
I
there
see.
that a lot of
Like,
women,
oh, maybe you can get a little page out of my book.
yes, yes. So a lot of women were being helped, like um, the GBV issue, at least they were able to restart their life, regardless of the pause that they had gone through. And that is how I was like, okay, let me compile this. There's some that I'll never get to speak with one on one, but at
Yeah.
least they can read the book.
You can
And
read.
that's how it was compiled. And here we are.
Yeah.
The book is here.
That's the women. What about the men? Did you deal with any men?
Yes, I did. Though the men are few, but
Yeah.
I have dealt with the men. And so, because then I started as the balanced woman, and then the men started coming on board and like, okay, but how come? But how come you've left us out? And so it's hard for us to reach out because it says balanced woman.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I think earlier this year, 2025, we had to transition from the balanced woman to the balanced life so that it's all encompassing all the men and all the women that feel burdened, heartbroken can come through and get the help.
Wow. All right. Sounds to me like somebody very passionate about the well-being of others, which is
Exactly.
good
Mhm.
because I mean we all need each other. We
Yeah.
need one another, which is one of the reasons that we are here right now on this
Yes.
platform because of a lady, which is basically a lady tells through her life growth. Yeah. So I think previously I mentioned to say that lady being myself, but let's not forget that any journey has people that we meet along the way,
Mhm.
and those are the people that you're going to be seeing here, coming over and over. Um, so continuing with the same issue on corners, broken heart. Do you think there are some things that people just never heal from? Like you can never heal from certain heartbreaks?
We would want to say would never heal, but we would want to ask ourselves, what is healing in the first place? You
Yeah.
see? And so, in the simplest form, how I break it down is just at that point when whatever it is that broke your heart, um, the pain subsides, you can no longer feel that intense pain. Of course, every once in a while, you get to feel like, ouch, okay, maybe if I didn't go through that, okay, I would be okay. But that ouch, it's not for a long time. It's just a
Okay.
brief ouch, and you are back to yourself. So, do they heal? Do we heal? Yes, we do. And the thing that we struggle with most of the time is to get to a place of wholeness. So, healing is number one. When, yeah. So, healing, we're just getting to a place where we're saying, I'm okay. And when we say I'm okay, it's not the one where we are kind of like trying to mask everything, hide things and all. But you are really okay because you have dealt with issues one by one. And so the healing part, the place where you get to be okay, those are the notes that I have written in this book, Lost, Broken Hearts Heal, because we are pinpointing what is it that I lost. I lost a loved one. Okay, fine. So in me losing a loved one, how do I move on? Have I got to that place where I am okay with not having my dad around, with not having my mother around? Of course, life gives us a different script in their absence. But for how long are you going to go on in that broken state? So you need to get to a place where I'm okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt as much as it used to. I am
Yeah.
all right. And then now we now look at wholeness. What is wholeness? You are not in pieces. You are whole. You are restored.
Yeah.
Yes. So now what we struggle with is wholeness,
Wholeness.
not healing. because when we talk about brokenness, there is a loss. So usually I love to do a 4A stage. So you need to,
4A.
yes, you need to
Alright.
acknowledge, number one, what is it that you have actually lost that has brought about that brokenness? And for us to talk about brokenness, that it has to be something of worth. It has to be something valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll talk about, yes, I'm broken, yes, I'm hurt, because that item I really treasure, that item I really valued.
It's no longer here.
Exactly. And so we acknowledge.
Knowledge. Yeah.
Two, you admit, I have lost. I have lost. So um, in this loss that has happened, I will not recover it. I will not recover it. Let's talk about our favorite, a broken relationship. The person is gone.
Yeah. It's gone. It's done.
Yes, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
They've moved on with their life. And so how do you actually now get to move on yourself when you had built your life around them? You see?
Yeah.
So you acknowledge,
You
admit, I have lost.
Mm-hmm.
And so once you have acknowledge, admit, and then you accept. When you get to accept, this is where we're just saying, okay, I'm fine now. I let go, I release. And then you adjust.
Then you adjust.
Yes.
Well, I think the accept is the one that takes a bit longer.
Yeah. It takes longer because of the attachments that we have to the item that we lost. Because the more attachments we have, I'll keep referring to say it has to be something of worth.
Worth and value to you.
Yes. So it is all the attachments. What really hurts in a heartbreak, in a disappointment, it's us looking at how life used to be and it's not going to be. There are things that we enjoyed because this person was around, and now they're not around. We will not enjoy them anymore. And so it's us now learning to twist that absence to in a more positive way.
Yeah, in a healthy manner. I think
Exactly.
actually adjusting in a healthy manner.
Exactly.
That's what healing would look like to me.
Exactly.
Than in a positive manner. Of course, the positive kind of adjustment seems to come easier, but it's a whole burden because you can't do that for a lifetime.
No. You it's easier. Like, I think today I was writing about when disappointment feels like home. Disappointment is the order of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You are due for promotion, but the promotion doesn't come out.
Yeah.
What happened? You get to work, everybody on the team, you're supposed to go out on tour, but somehow you're left out.
You're left out.
You see. And so
it starts being familiar. What's familiar to you?
Exactly. Like, oh, okay, I know what it is like. And so because you are so familiar with the cycle of disappointment, you now become devoid of emotions. So you train yourself not to feel.
Yeah.
You train yourself not to experience hateful emotions. You don't want to feel sad. You want to act like, oh, okay, I was left out for a promotion. It's okay.
Okay, but deep down
it hurts. You see, okay, this guy walked out of my life. It's fine. Tinajaila, it's okay. That's how it's been. Oh, okay, we've lost another loved one. Oh, it's another one.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna die again.
Yeah, it's God's will. But there's one thing that we always fail to do. Just get to that pause where you just say, ouch, this hurts.
Yeah.
There's so much power in pausing and just say, this hurts. And even when you say it, you have to say it from the depth of your heart. Because then you are releasing all the negative energy and just bringing it all out. It's like, it hurts. I am hurt.
Yeah.
And so when you're admitting that I am hurt, you are not doing it so that you can now throw a pity party. No, it's okay to feel
true.
hurt.
And I think that's so there are two things I'm thinking here, or something that's coming to my mind is, firstly, the challenge perhaps that most people have from observation and maybe past experiences is that nobody wants to really sit down with themselves.
Exactly.
It's like you're going to find monsters that are so easy to see in others,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't want to see them in yourself. And
Yeah.
that's why they always say it's so easy to see something wrong that somebody's doing
Yeah.
and not yourself, because
Mhm.
once you sit down, you have to really acknowledge to say, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing wrong, this is what I'm doing right, why am I doing this?
Mhm.
All those questions we don't really want to admit, to say, I was
Yes.
wrong, I messed up, this is
Exactly.
what I did wrong, and this is
Exactly.
how I can correct it and do something right. I
Mhm.
have to form a whole new person.
Mhm.
And maybe the challenge sometimes is that instead of trying to create something good, we want to go back to where we left things
Mhm.
when we were hurt
Mhm.
before, go back to that reason. But then we're forgetting that this happened, whether you like
Yes,
it or not.
it did.
You
It
can't
did.
take it out
No,
of
no,
the
no,
picture.
no, no, no. You can't
Yeah.
take it out. It happened, and it happened in a manner that you really have little or no control over.
Hmm.
No matter what you did, you couldn't have avoided it. You couldn't have stopped it. It just had to happen.
Yeah.
I think from the core script of the book, my favorite of it is whatever it is that was lost only affected my lifestyle, not my destiny.
Okay.
So you still have a destiny to fulfill. And in your destiny, there are certain hurts, there are certain heartbreaks that you can't avoid.
Yeah.
You avoid it at point A. When you get to point B, you will find it.
Waiting for
It's
you.
waiting. There is a heartbreak that has your name written on it. It's right there waiting for you, just waiting for the right opportunity. It happens because it's in our destiny. So, in as much as there is this pain in our destiny, there is also joy, there is also peace, there is also love in our destiny. So, the detour that happens where there is this heartbreak should not stop us from reaching that destiny, because it's a full package. There are joys and there are pain. So destiny is destiny, and things will happen whether we like it or not. And it's just having that stamina, that energy just to say, ouch, it hurts. And
Gotta go on. That's optimism,
exactly,
which I would assume takes a little bit of a while to build. And
exactly.
it's something that somebody has to actually be very intentional about.
Mm.
It doesn't just come by accident,
No, no,
like,
no,
oh,
no.
that's an optimistic person. No, no, no. People have to actually build it within
Exactly.
themselves to
Exactly.
believe, to have a sense of calmness and
Mhm.
peace, knowing that, oh, things are bad.
Mhm.
It's burning. Oh, it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Life will be, it's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
All right, that's an
Mhm.
interesting thing about wholeness. Well, I never really thought that perhaps like wholeness is so much. Mainly, we just concentrate on healing,
Yeah,
healing,
yeah, yeah.
and we just talk about it. I guess without having the knowledge, maybe I would say, about wholeness.
Mhm.
So, in what ways do you think somebody can get to a point of wholeness after heartbreak, regardless of what the heartbreak is?
Mhm. Well, the wholeness part, um, we would want to liken it to a place where you you are restored,
Hmm.
or if we can use the taglines that we use on the balanced life, where we're saying you are living a fulfilled life.
Okay.
And living a fulfilled life is subjective,
Mhm.
because what you would define fulfilled life would not be the same as
The
how I
same for you.
define it. Exactly. And so the healing part is almost like, yes, it just has to happen. But for you to get to the place of wholeness, there's a lot of work that you actually have to do. We'll take, say, the one for you lost your mother, your father. How do you actually get back to a place of wholeness? Yes, you're okay, they are gone, and here is a young child, maybe about 3, 4, loses their parent. And how do you now tell them about wholeness in order for them to get to their 30, 40, 50? Because there's a deep hole that remains in them. And so how do they get to that? Because like at that tender age, they may not have established or built a lot of beautiful memories with their
With the
parents.
parents. Yeah.
Okay. And so now it's about them now getting to a place of um, looking up to God and say, okay, this was not there, but there is a figure that I can liken
You
to,
can liken to.
because in as much as the parents are not there, there's always a parent figure that is in there, and that is where you now begin to find a bit of solace, a bit of peace, and a bit of comfort, because it's about being restored. It's about getting to that place where you can still live a fulfilled life. It's We are not just happy because our parents are here.
Mhm.
Even with friends, even with uncles, aunties, grandparents, we can still be happy and live a fulfilled life. Let's talk about the broken relationship, love relationship, getting to wholeness. One
Yeah.
would say, I have to get into another relationship for me to feel whole again.
Mhm.
But that's not the final destination. You
No.
could still be whole. You could still live a fulfilled life, even still as a single person.
True.
And so, unfortunately, our society has taught us to frown on singleness. Like, oh, you're single, really? What are you doing being single? So you mean you haven't healed? No, 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 no. Somebody has
Healing
healed.
doesn't mean being with somebody else.
Exactly, exactly.
I
Yeah.
think that's the other challenge. This is why we just keep on having the cycle
Yes, yes, yes,
of
yes.
hurting
Yeah,
people and things
exactly.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is interesting, but I'm going to take you a little bit backwards
Mm-hmm.
just before we conclude. So, I asked earlier about what led to you writing this book, and I think you said something, not with something, yeah, you talked about the habits you had gone through and you'd write them down in a diary.
Mm-hmm.
But to get to a point, of course, you talked about somebody else reading this. Does it align in any way? Because you're an accountant, right?
Yes, I
So, how are you balancing your? Of course, you're always balancing books. Maybe that makes it easier for you.
am.
But
Mm-hmm.
you're doing the balancing of those things, and at the same time, having to deal with people who are broken, the GBV people you talked
Mm-hmm.
about, for example. And I'm sure they're the only people that you deal with
Yeah.
in terms of brokenness.
Mm-hmm.
So, how are you balancing that with your everyday life?
Okay. Uh, okay. It's a lot of work. I always say when I'm doing accounting work, as a professional, that's for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's for me to pay my bills, for me to live a decent life, to enjoy whatever it is that I want to enjoy, as and when I want to enjoy it. And so that is just for me. It has Everybody else steps back, but when I step into the other field, that's when now I begin to look at how am I going to help somebody live their life better today. And so that's where I get the drive. That's where I get the passion to actually get to interact with a lot of people at different levels of life. Um, I think it's a lot of work. There are times where I have to, I would say, like, when you're switching on and off the light bulb in the house, yeah, that's what I actually get to do. That's what I've trained myself to do, to
Okay.
know what is the situation right now and who is supposed to show up.
Mm.
Is it the accountant? Is it,
Yes.
yeah. So I am an accountant and psychologist at the same time.
Mm.
And so now I need to know when the psychologist must pull
Must
up
pop up and
and, yeah,
accountant
the
number
accountant,
loving lady.
exactly, and when the pastor must pop up. So it's a lot of switching on and off, on and off. Yeah, that's
Okay.
what actually gets to help me.
All right.
Mhm.
So, how often do you deal with the other people? How often do you have to serve other people?
Every day,
Ah.
every day, because most of the work, luckily, when we started virtual.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the people that I've actually dealt with, I've not met them physically.
Oh.
It's via phone, via WhatsApp, via Facebook, YouTube. That's where I've met these people. We have interacted, we have discussed issues, we've done video calls, conference calls, phone calls. The virtual aspect of it has actually made it a lot more easier to do the work. There are very few that I have met in person because of the demanding work schedules that I get to have. Because, accounting is a full-time job.
Yep.
Yeah. So for me to be able to do that every day, it can only be virtual. And then over the weekend, I have a few sessions that I get to interact with people.
Physically.
Mhm.
All right, that's very interesting. I guess before we wrap up with this session, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about Wholeness? Something important you think we should leave this episode with?
Um, in our day-to-day life, we'll face challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Life is not meant to be easy, and it will, I think, not be easy anytime soon. The joy of life is in overcoming life hurdles. I don't know if you've met a very difficult situation. You didn't know how you were going to get through, but somehow you got through. That overwhelming joy of overcoming is what gives us the fulfillment, is what gives us the pleasure of wanting to wake up the next morning. So, in terms of brokenness, we would want to term it as it will always be there, but it should not feel so familiar. We should not be so comfortable with staying broken. Challenges will happen.
Okay.
Yeah, when we check in chapter 2, I said pain is optional, could be optional, but adversities will always be
Be
there.
there.
I like to give an example to say we have our parents. Can you imagine how many times our parents have knocked us in the head and said, "Oh, you didn't sweep the house. You
Yes.
won't eat food today." And she means it.
Mm-hmm.
So she says, "You didn't sweep the house, you skip lunch today." And you have not stayed offended.
Mm-hmm.
You've just left it be and said, "Oh, it's just my parent, it's just my mom." Let's switch the role. Let it be your auntie that says you skip a meal because you didn't sweep the house. Do you know the grudge that we get to keep?
Yeah.
Because auntie made me skip a meal for not sweeping the house.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same scenario, same event, but different people
Yes.
involved.
Yeah.
Yes. And the intensity of the pain that is felt there is almost unimaginable when auntie says that. And so in parting, I would say adversity will always be there, but let us not always choose to create pain where it's not necessary. And if at all it really does hurt, take a pause and acknowledge to say, "Ouch, this hurts. But I'm going to be okay."
All right. Thank you so much, Esther. So that is what we had for you on this episode on Wholeness, Broken Hearts Heal. If you'd be interested in reading the chapter that is found in this book, so if you'd be interested in having this book, you may as well let us know in the comment section. For those who know me, you can contact me directly and I will refer you to her. Or, yeah, anyway, however it's going to work out.
I'll get a copy.
Thank you so much. But remember to get a copy if you really need it. Rhythms are always going to be there, one way or the other. But like we've been emphasizing, it's about optimism. It's about creating a sense of positivity and trust in yourself as well. Have faith that I can do this. I'm going to get through this with the help of God. I am good to go. Yeah. So it's bye from me. We'll have another episode coming up soon with Esther here. And I hope you will love it. So for today, it's bye from us.
Bye bye.